amount of British gilts that were issued by the British government. It was huge. And the whole thing almost went into complete meltdown. It was bailed out, actually, by these much maligned investment bankers organised by the Fed. The Fed got them together, banged a few heads together and said, you will bail out these guys. And they did. Nobody heard about it. It was done behind closed doors, and it worked. The actual long-term capital management positions were unwound over a period of about 5 years. And actually nobody lost money on them. They were good, solid investments. The problem we have had, if you go back to Northern Rock, was this silly man Vince Cable banging on about taxpayers' money. Actually, there weren't any taxpayers' money went into Northern Rock. And banging on about the taxpayer must be protected. And then Alistair Darling introduced this wonderful thing that we would get the money back in as quickly as possible. Can't be done. In banking crises, you must actually allow time to liquidate your assets. If you liquidate them in a rush, you get a very poor price. You have to liquidate them over a long period of time. And long-term capital management assets were liquidated over 5 years. Now, of course, they've just realised they've got it wrong with Northern Rock. And they've now said Northern Rock is okay, you don't have to pay us back in 2 years' time. You have 5 years to pay us. But because what we did generate was a problem that, of course, the easy way is just to say to people who are renewing their mortgage, well, we'll renew your mortgage, but it'll cost you 7.5%. And they'll say, but I can go down to the Alliance in Leicester and get one for 6%. I'm going off to the Alliance in Leicester. And they say, Mr. Northern Rock says, that's fine, you go. Well, that's great. Mr. Northern Rock gets his money back. That puts more strain on Alliance in Leicester. And that's where the instability built up in the system for that very reason. Now, you may think I'm joking when I say that actually it can take virtually a lifetime to run off problem banks. You can probably remember what was called the secondary banking crisis, which came about in 1973. And it was people who were associated with things like Jim Slater and his banks. The Bank of England bailed them out. I left the Bank of England in 2002, 2003. At that stage, we still had on the Bank of England books 2 of these secondary banks that we bailed out 30 years ago, because it just takes that length of time to resolve a banking crisis. It is not within the horizon of a government or a succession of governments, and this is why we're in the mess now. We've been trying to get money back too quickly without realising it just can't be done. Thank you.